Ricky Rudd, the leader in Dover, and the MBNA Cal Ripken Jr. 400. We've got 263 complete, 137 to go. Next weekend, our coverage of the race for the championship moves on to the new Kansas Speedway. Saturday, it's NASCAR Busch Series racing at 2 Eastern Time. Then a week from today, Sprint PCS presents NASCAR Winston Cup racing at 12:30 Eastern from Kansas City on NBC. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running 2.8 seconds behind Ricky Rudd in second. And Matt Kenseth is on pit road for an unscheduled stop. Marty?
It's been a dreadful day for Matt Kenseth, the Walt team. This is normally one of his better tracks, but they've only had one top 10 in the last recent races. They have a water problem, or overheating problem, rather. They're putting cold water in through that little hose you see going in behind the hood, and they think they may have lost the engine now on Matt Kenseth's car. They have really struggled all weekend, Alan.
That's too bad. Matt with his problems. Robert Presley has just taken his car to the garage, and it has been retired from the race. Damage from that earlier accident. They came back out and made some laps, but it's given up. Let's check in on Joe Nemechek. Benny, you talked about him. Trouble.
Is that the result of not changing tires, you think?
Well, take a look at that right front tire.
Dave Blaney running fourth. Into the wall, caution's out. Matt?
Well, you sure could hear it go by. It sounded like he cut down a tire. And also an update on the 33. They have been loose all day. Andy Petrie says they continue to adjust, and it just doesn't get any better.
Well, you bet that got every crew chief's attention.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you come in, you get tires here at Dover, because this place is so hard on the right front tire.
So the great run from the 42nd starting spot up to fourth ends against the turn one wall for Dave Blaney. Let's go back and take a look at what happened.
Yep, you watch him go down turn one. Right there, the right front tire blows, and this is what happens.
And he's so lucky that it happened on the straightaway rather than about the time he got to the bottom of the racetrack. And Jeff Gordon, once again, is right behind him.
I'd be nervous if I was anyone else that saw the 24 car around turn one.
A lot of damage on Blaney's car.
Now we'll see how many guys take just two now.
Leaders onto pit road, 132 laps to go as they come down. Bill Weber.
The words from Jeff Gordon, we're getting it, little loose in, and that's about the size of it. So it's going to be 4 tires, fuel, no changes. They clean the windshield, stops getting strong for the 24. Dave?
The leader is in. A little more deliberate pit stop for the boys this time. They thought they might have made a mistake last time on the car, and we're being very cautious watching Ricky around the track, perhaps a lug nut. This time they're going to be very deliberate, getting everything on for him, and he's still going to beat everyone out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. makes a track bar adjustment. He said it was a little tight getting in and a little bit loose getting off the corner.
And Jr. is going to lose 4 or 5 cars track position as he making that chassis change. He goes from second back to 8th.
Marty?
Well, the word from Jimmy Spencer, guys, nothing but tires and gas, and that's all they did. They put on tires and fuel, and that's all Spencer needed. Very fast race car right now, the Matt Yoakum.
The gas man for Tony Stewart, Jeff Gooch Patterson's going to have wedge elbow after the day is over. Another 1 round of wedge out. He says his car is tight in the center, says Tony Stewart. At least now it's gone to the tight side, 4 tires, but also they've got 2 team members on loan from the 18, Barry Cook and Alan Copley. The rear changer and Kayers for the 18 because Randy Cox, a normal tire changer on the rear for Tony Stewart, got some kind of debris in his eye.
Ricky Rudd's the leader. Ricky Craven is up in second. We'll have the restart when we come back. Back at Dover, another lap of caution before we go back racing. So we'll take a moment and remind you about NBC's Premiere Week that begins on Monday. All week long, you'll see the fall premieres of your favorite returning shows and this fall's new shows. It's the must-see NBC Premiere Week starting Monday nights on NBC. Summary of pit stops.
Look at Junior. Comes in second, goes out in 8th.
Wow. And Ricky Craven is up in second spot, just 2 tires on his pit stop. Marty Snyder.
Well, as Dave Blaney's team packs up and heads to the garage, we'll let them pass through here, and we'll show you when they leave Dave Blaney's right front tire, and that's not a very pretty picture. That is what's left of it, and as we talked about, that might be the result of changing no tires, but I doubt it. He didn't really have a whole lot of laps on him, so I don't think that was a result of changing no tires. You can see the paint chips from the wall embedded inside the wheel well there, so a lot of damage to that right front tire, of what's left of the right front tire of Dave Blaney's car.
And that hole that you see that Marty showed you did not cause the tire to go flat. That's what happened when he slammed on the brakes and wore through the tire. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a flat spot.
A flat spot, big time.
Going to be another lap or so before we get the restart. Let's take a break here. Back to Dover after this. Getting ready to go back racing from the 9th caution of the MBNA Cal Ripken Jr. 400, and we've still got 127 laps to go. Yellow fever today. Yellow fever.
And Ricky Rudd continues to run so well in that number 28 Haviland car, the winner last week or 2 weeks ago in Richmond.
Remember, Craven just got 2 tires, second place car, the 32, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is back in 8th. Got all the lap cars to the right of your screen mixed in and among them as well.
And you see our bubbles in the lead 3 cars. We'll see the difference in how fast that Rudd drives away from them. So far, they're staying fairly close.
Yellow car, Kenny Wallace, first car 1 lap down. He's in 23rd place.
Ricky Craven, the car that we saw run up front the first 50 miles or so. We haven't seen much of him since. As Dave Burns reported, has some damage to the right front tire and seems to have caused his handling to go away a little bit.
And after all that's happened today, look at Jeff Gordon up in 4th place. This is just one of those kind of days where he'll keep after it, he'll turn around and win the thing. One of those kind of days. Gordon has not won since Watkins Glen and Global Crossing at the Glen in mid-August. He's about due for another one, isn't he?
Sounds to me like it. It looks like it as well.
Looking down on Dover from our U.S. Army Skycam. Find out more about the United States Army at GoArmy.com.
Well, that lap, Jeff Gordon was not quite as fast as the leader, Ricky Rudd. He's about a mile per hour slower, but it might have been the traffic of Kenny Wallace that caused that. We'll check it out. This lap, as he comes on turn 4, completes another lap. Well, he was about 3/4 of a mile per hour slower. So he is slower than Ricky Rudd. Dale Jarrett, the 88 car, closes in right on the back bumper of Ricky Craven. Looks like he's going to take that second spot away.
Craven giving way. Jarrett on the fresher tires. Bobby Jeffries, that ever so calm and reassuring voice from the spotter stand.
And I said just a moment ago that Bob Jeffries had a little girl. He and his wife had a little girl on Wednesday.
Gordon looking inside Craven for 3rd. He's got him. Dale Jr. so far, no progress since the restart. He's still in 8th place. Tell you, Stewart's car's kind of leveled off too. Got the pit report a minute ago that the gas man was going to have, what do you call it, wedge-itis in his arm for making all the adjustments on the car. There's Dale Jr. trying to get around Jimmy Spencer. He's just passed Sterling Marlin for 7th. Now he's trying to get Spencer for 6th. Dave?
Now, one of the reasons why they lost time on their pit stop was because they had to get around the 28 coming into their pit stop. That sounds like the reverse of what happened earlier to Ricky Rudd. But that's exactly what happened. And then when they made a track bar adjustment as well on the 8 car, that slowed them down and put them back a few spots.
And while we watch this, another unscheduled pit stop for Kenny Wallace. He moved up to be the first car one lap down after pitting for loose lug nuts under the green earlier. He's back in again. And since it's just after another caution flag pit stop,
yeah, which leads you to believe, and again, once you wear those studs and the wheel rolls around on those studs, it really is hard. Oh, Spencer Jr. almost makes contact.
That was a little bit, I think, of what we were talking about earlier, where that was the aero loose that we saw Earnhardt pull on the 26 car of Jimmy Spencer.
Earnhardt Jr. led 154 laps of the race so far. Right now, he's mired back in 6th place.
Let's show you what we're talking about when we go aero loose. If you're the car behind, you want to get somebody loose in front of you. You pull up right on their rear bumper as close as you can. That does two things. That takes the air off the spoiler in front of the car. That air's going off the spoiler instead of down around it. Also, it's packing air underneath the guy's rear bumper. So it's creating lift on that car. And when it creates lift, it's actually pulling the tires and there's less grip of that car and he gets a little sideways. And that's exactly what the 8 car did to the 26 of Jimmy Spencer.
So Spencer slides back to the 8th position where he's being challenged by Jerry Nadeau. It's Ricky Rudd who's out in front of the MBNA Cal Ripken Jr. 400. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.